On my return flight from Israel a few weeks ago, I had the wonderful fortune of sitting next to a dog and its owner. I don't want to make any enemies. I have nothing against dogs. I am not a dog hater. I'm not a dog lover. I'm dog neutral. I just don't want to sit next to a dog on an 11-hour flight. I do not want to be awakened multiple times by the sound of a dog barking while I'm trying to get some sleep. And so as the flight is continuing, I'm getting angrier and angrier at the dog, at its owner, at the airline for letting the dog fly, until finally, mercifully, the flight comes to an end and I head home. On my way home, I realized just how ridiculous I had been acting. Getting upset at the dog? I know that everything that happens in the world happens for a reason. And I know that it all comes from God. It was as if I was really getting upset at God. I had not fully internalized the lesson, the belief that everything that happens from God. And I let it upset me when it shouldn't have. Take a look towards the beginning of this week's Parsha. The Jews are between a rock and a hard place. The sea is in front of them, and they do not know how to swim. Pharaoh and his army, the chariots are behind them, and they're closing in. And the Jews, understandably, are terrified. And so they cry out in prayer to God, demonstrating faith. As the commentators explain, they copied their ancestors, the patriarchs, each of whom had prayed to God. Look at the next passage. They challenge Moshe. They say, Moses, what, there weren't any graves in Egypt? You had to take us out here to the wilderness to die? Showing a lack of faith. What's going on? Some commentators say it's two different groups. The ones who believed, prayed. The ones who didn't, questioned. But others say, no, it's the same group of people. How do you explain it? They hadn't internalized the lesson. They were praying through rote. They were just going through the motions. They knew, well, our ancestors, when they were in difficult times, they prayed, so I guess we'll pray. Okay, prayer, prayer, prayer. But they didn't really believe. And we have to be so careful of that. We have to make sure that our interactions with God, our performance of rituals, our prayers are not rote, that we're not just going through the motions. We should not be actors pretending to pray sincerely. We should not pretend to believe. We should pray sincerely and believe and understand that whatever experience we're going through, whatever situation we find ourselves in, whatever happens to us, it all came from God, and He knows what He's doing.